Hi, I'm Dr. Steve McQueen. Great to see you here. I had a previous video where I told everybody that I have a PhD and I teach statistics to MBA students. And because of my expertise, I've learned a lot about through research, what is the gig economy and how things are transitioning over the new economy, which is taking place right at this present time. In fact, what I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to give my skills center, the development center, a forum of success. And what we're trying to do to help it be a successful program for you. First of all, we want you to realize that as parents, if you are looking after your teenager, that we give a lot of copy for you to read. And that copy is important because you can read up and let them watch the videos. Because the videos are where the real learning part of our program, but they need to be steered. They need to be looked after in the processes so that they understand how to move through the 13 months of our program. The second thing that we have is we have a belief that Google and YouTube, that they know everything. Because artificial intelligence is taking us to a mode where most of your Google and YouTube are going to have some artificial intelligent links to it. And what we think will be is it will be the new college. We believe that colleges are not moving fast enough in this direction. And we'll talk about that more in a minute. But it's not moving fast enough digitally. And so we believe that YouTube and Google will be the best transmissions of our future education. We also believe that higher ed, they talk a lot about the concept of, of redoing it, changing things. But the problem is they're not moving quick enough. And that's the whole issue that we feel that is relevant, is that they're not moving into skills. They're still in the degree program, they're still into lectures, and still into big buildings. And the whole idea is education's moving more and more online and more in a digital form today. And that's what we're seeing, the big basic, AI is moving us into that transition very strongly. We also see that in some ways it's like the Titanic, of rearranging the deck chairs on the Titanic, so to speak, when we see a lot of these higher ed discussions on, oh yeah, we need to add a little bit more of this or a little more of that, because I think we're into a real major transition. We're moving away from group learning more to self-learning. Self-learning is becoming more and more a part of the mode of transition. And it's also more than self-learning, it's also lifelong learning. Okay, you go to college, you get a terminal degree, and that's all you need, right? No. The gig economy and artificial intelligence is changing it all. It's all about lifelong learning. So the sooner a person can learn, a teenager can learn how to learn on their own, the better. And the more they'll be ready to be candidates for the careers in this new gig economy. The two areas that are really big in this gig economy are called freelancing and entrepreneuring. We're moving very quickly away from the concept of full-time jobs. Big business is deciding that they can reduce costs, and also they figure that this is a better way because they want lifelong learners. They just don't want people to have a college degree and then stop their education. They're looking at a different type of education, and this is where they're looking for freelancers and entrepreneurs. That is the education of the future, and that's the jobs of the future. The other thing we're looking at is computer science. And the whole idea of computer science is that we find that most jobs are going to need some form of computer science. And what I mean by it, they're going to have to, every career is going to need someone who has some computer science or data management background. They need that skill. And even if they don't become a coder, yes, coding is great. But it's more than just coding. And our courses add more than just coding. Yes, we do have coding in our courses. But they add other computer skills that are necessary, because every career is going to need some form of data management or career or computer science background. And we want you to see that. Yes, we do have coding. And that's another important thing that we do. We have about 9 coding programs in our program to help our students as well. But we have more than coding. We also have programs that are in the area of accounting, marketing. These are important courses. In fact, Google has gives a survey to everybody coming in, and it's 20 things that are on their survey. Did you only know 2 or 3 are coding? The rest are dealing with other team areas like accounting, marketing, whether they make a good team player, whether they are problem solvers. There's a whole list of things, and so the whole pile of soft skills that a Google employer wants. And it's not just coding. So this is the sign that's taking place. We also believe that as Google moves in this operation too, we're going to see smaller firms moving the same way too over time, especially as we move into 2030. What we have is a 13-month program. We created this 13-month program on purpose because we believe that all the skills are necessary from the 20 skills that are necessary to get a job at Google are within those 13 parameters. And so that's why we created it. We're using the Google concept in order to create our 13-month model. And we believe that as Google does, and as Apple and all these 13 other major companies that are switching away from hiring only college graduates, even to high school graduates that have skills, that we're going to see more and more need for these skills that we're doing within our program. One of the things we also are going to show you at the end is I have 20 billionaires, and every one of them says you have to look at college as an investment. And they say it takes 2 things. It's time and it's money. And they said the problem is that college is too expensive and it's too long. Somehow getting a skill takes shorter time than going for 4 to 6 years. They also say it costs too much money. So there's got to be another alternative. We're going to add that video of what these 20 billionaires say at the end of our discussion. Now, we're getting back to how we're going to operate with our 13 months. We're going to have a portfolio. We call it a portfolio, and we're asking questions of students as they do the work, as they go watch the videos. And I picked out the videos. I looked at the videos, and I can ferret out which videos are good and which videos aren't trash. And that solves your problem because you don't have to take that time. I took the time because I've been doing this for 20 years. So it saves you time and it saves you money for me to go through these videos. But we're also going to have the students answer questions, and they're going to add that to what I call as an e-portfolio. Why an e-portfolio? There's 2 values of the e-portfolio. The first value is for the employer, because the student can take that portfolio and show it to an employer. The question is, okay, let's suppose you go to college and you show them a transcript and you show them all these A's and B's and stuff like that. What do most employers think about A's and B's? Grade inflation, right? So our belief is that that e-portfolio will probably be more advantageous because they can show them their actual work. The other reason we want it is for graduation purposes. After they finish their 13 months, we want to look at what they actually learned. So they're going to send us their e-portfolio before they graduate and before they get a certificate. And we will look at it. We'll look at the weaknesses of the areas and we'll tell them, okay, you could have spent a little more time on this month or that month. Can you redo those? Do it again, send it back, and then we'll give you your certificate. It's just a way that we can help our students learn more. We want them to be responsible. We want them to be able to go to an employer and say, this is what we really learned, and that My Skills Development Center is backing them with their certificate. They can put it on their resumes, and they can also add it into LinkedIn too, once they graduate and they receive a certificate. The first month is free to get you on board and get with our 13-month program, either in our freelance program or an entrepreneur program. See you in class.